leaving Liverpool. This brings an end to an era since 22 to 26. The end of the Jurgen Klopp era is now official. I'm Aldo and welcome to Aura TV and to discuss what happened on Tuesday night and what happens next and where Liverpool go from here. I've got my two good friends with me. From the final whistle, I've got Deck and I've got his sidekick Ant. How you doing, guys?
Good.
That joke's never going to end, is it?
What was your first... Deck, I'll start with you, mate.
Go on, lad.
When the news broke at 6:45 on Tuesday night, what was your first response?
Well, I mean, you should see me videos. Just look. I think we all knew it was going to happen. Mo Salah's not getting any younger. I think when he signed the contract extension at the end of last year, with all the if buts and maybes throughout the year of whether he was going to sign, whether he was going to Saudi, whether he was going to just leave on a free. Like, there was so much speculation around it, and then he comes out and he makes this amazing announcement video, and everyone was so happy. And he sat on his throne in the middle of Anfield, and he's renewed for 2 years. And then following that, we had Virgil van Dijk as well. I think it didn't come as a shock that Mo Salah would leave the football club, because he's not getting any younger, and he at the end of the day, it's what happens to everyone. But I think what come as a bit of a surprise to me was how it just sort of come out of nowhere. There was no rumours on Instagram. There was no rumours on Twitter. He just posted this video on his social media. It didn't even come from the club, first of all, or anything like that. So I think that's what took a lot of people, including myself, by surprise initially. But after a while, it's been a few days now, I look at it and I think, do you know what? It's devastating. I'm really sad. But I think it is time for change. And I think if he's not gonna go sort of this summer at the end of the season, it would have been next year anyway. I couldn't see Mo Salah staying past that 2-year extension that he made initially last year. So that's why I think we all sort of knew that was going to happen. I know you said yourself, Craig, you were speaking on TalkSport the other evening. You're not surprised. You're not really shocked that he's leaving the football club. But for me, it's more just how it's more how he's just announced it now. I think maybe towards the end of the season he would get his farewell and stuff, which he will do anyway, which we've seen with other players. But I can't. I think the last time a player announced that they were leaving before the end of the year was Firmino. And obviously we can all talk about Jurgen Klopp doing it. But I said in one of my recent posts that last time I felt this upset and this devastated was about Sadio Mane, and this is on a whole other level. And Bobby Firmino as well. I think it's just for people like myself and like yourself, Craig, and Ant as well. It's sort of it is coming to the end of that era, which I'm sure we're going to get into within the stream.
Yeah. Oh yeah, Ant, how did you feel on Tuesday night at 6:45?
Kind of like Deck. It was like you knew it was coming at some point. Especially, I said it from the beginning of this season that just something seemed off, and it seemed like with how he's playing. Like you get tired and you get old and stuff, but the way that he was playing, you could tell that eventually there's going to be some sort of announcement like this. I'm going to run out my contract, or I'm gonna leave by the end of my contract. I wasn't expecting it to be the end of this season, but I'm not. I was devastated at first because it's happened. I've seen it with my own eyes that he's announced it, so I was devastated when I seen it. But within like 24 hours, I'm less devastated because it was expected, but as someone who's growing up through through teenage years, watching him and fucking like I'm 24 now, and I've spent quite a bit of my time of being a Liverpool supporter watching him, and seeing the achievements that he's got. It's the best way for him to go out, because obviously you don't want him to run on two bad seasons, because we don't know what next season's going to be like.
No.
So after, especially after last season winning the Premier League. So he's not just won it once; he's won it twice.
Yeah.
And we don't know what the Champions League is going to be like. I mean, we all sit here and think, yeah, we're out, but don't know what it's going to be like. So it's not like he's ended on the worst possible run.
No.
He's had a blinder of a career, especially from where he started off with Chelsea
Yeah.
and Roma, to come and play for us.
Yeah.
And for the amount of money we bought him for, the amount of people that sat there and said, "Yeah,
Yeah.
you've wasted your money. You got a B Tech or a B version of such and such player," and then to look back on those comments now and think, "Yeah, he has put all yous on your ass." It's that's what counterbalances the sad part of it. It's like I can sit there and smile and go, "He had one hell of a career
Yeah,
at
that's fair
Liverpool."
enough. That's fair enough. Ben, good evening, Ben. How you doing, mate?
All right, Ben.
Good evening. You okay, Ben?
Yeah.
I'm just getting the lads' reaction to the breaking news on Tuesday night that the end of an era has basically come to an end. This is the official end of the Jurgen Klopp side, with only 2 players remaining: Virgil van Dijk and Alisson Becker. So, Ben, what were your thoughts? What were your thoughts at 7:15 when Moore announced that he was leaving Liverpool Football Club?
I think I was surprised. I've known for a while that this would be his last season. I said before the season started, I reckon it would be his last. I didn't expect him to leave on a free, but clearly that means he has intention to stay in Europe, because the only team that would afford him and his wages is Saudi. So clearly he has no interest in going over there.
Mm-hmm. I mean, my own thoughts on it were simply this: was it a bombshell? No, it wasn't. Was I shocked? No, I wasn't. Am I sad? No, I'm not, because I've seen better players than Mo Salah over my lifetime. I was more disappointed over Fernando Torres leaving for me. But in respect to Mo Salah, nobody can dispute what he's done on 9 seasons, and I don't think any player in the Premier League will put those figures up again what Mo's put up, to be honest with you, if we're all truthful. I think like I said on Talk Sport on Tuesday night, I think if he was Argentinian or Brazilian, he'd have won the Ballon d'Or by now. I think because he's Egyptian, he gets completely overlooked, which is, if that's not giving somebody the bird or the finger, whatever, however you want to dress it up, then I don't know what is. But the thing is, Mo Salah, he's not a striker, he's a winger. I've got a couple of big questions on this for me. The reason I think he's gone is simply this. I think the relationship between him and Liverpool Football Club is broken. And I think the fallout he had with Ernie Slot after the 3-3 draw at Leeds has never been healed, because he came out in the mixed zone and said the club have thrown him under the bus. He didn't say Ernie Slot, he said the club. And I think since he come out with that statement, the relationship between him and the club is basically irreparable. The thing is, it's only 9 months since he signed the contract. So, and now all of a sudden, he's walking away with, I think we've got be honest with you, I think we've got a maximum of 10 games, 2 Champions League games, an FA Cup and 7 league games. And my question to Liverpool Football Club is simply this: why didn't you take the 150 million when it was on the table last year?
Yeah.
Right. Now, the only good thing to come out of this is that Liverpool are saving 460k a week, because that's what Salah's on. Now, I broke it down into 4 questions for you lads, because I'm going to start with the obvious one, really. I'll start with you, Ben, and I'll go last on all of this, because the nice thing for me doing this tonight, we've got 4 generations of Liverpool fans, so we'll all have different opinions here. My opinion will probably upset a lot of people, but it's just what I've seen and my thoughts. But Here's my first question to you guys. Is Mo Salah the greatest ever to wear the red shirt? And I'll start with you, Ben.
In the Premier League era, yes. As a whole, no.
So, in the Premier League era, you're saying yeah, 100%. As a whole, you're saying no. So, as a whole, obviously in your lifetime, who's the greatest player you've seen to wear the red shirt?
Well, in my lifetime, it's Salah. It's Salah or Gerrard. I'd say between one of them two. I might give it to Salah just because Gerrard was unfortunate not to win titles, but Salah did deliver some titles. But there's certain things you can't.
I've got a very good answer to why Steven Gerrard shouldn't even come into the equation, but I'll leave it until the end. But I'll leave it until the end because
I feel like I've heard.
No, I'm nothing against him. It's a good argument, and I deny any Liverpool fan to dispute it. Deck,
Yeah.
do you feel that Mo Salah is the greatest ever to wear the red shirt for Liverpool? And if not, why?
Greatest ever? No, because there's people who've scored more goals than him. But in my lifetime, yeah, for me, going to the match, old enough to remember going to the match and watching the match, there's not many before him that are up there for me. There's a few players in my lifetime that I've seen at the match, fortunate enough to see the likes of a Fernando Torres, a Luis Suarez, Gerrard briefly, if I just think back further enough where I can remember. But for me, like, consistently over a period of nearly 10 years, I've just, Mo Salah for me, like the numbers, the trophies, some of the memories that he's brought me. Even most recently, the Galatasaray game at Anfield, and he scores that absolute vintage Mo Salah goal with the outside of just the finesse shot, top bin.
Yeah.
And I stood there, and it took me breath away. I was like, oh, I was so happy that I saw that in person. And in recent days, with the news being broke that he's leaving the football club, and it goes to show me that even in 2026, Salah's still making me walk in at half time or whenever it is after the game or whatever, and I'm like, bloody hell. Like, what a goal that was, and it's still Mo Salah. He still has that in his locker. He still has that about him. Until the day Mo Salah dies, he'll always have that, because you don't forget that. It's like learning to ride a bike.
No.
Overall, no. I mean, no. Like I said, there's people with more goals for the club than Mo Salah. But just personally, he has a strong place. He has a big place in my heart. Steven Gerrard is up there for me. In again recent years, but I'm a bit too young to sort of remember the prime Gerrard days. And like you mentioned, Craig, I'm sure you've got an argument for who you think is. And again, like you said at the start of this, there's different generations of Liverpool fans here, so everyone's got to have their own view and their own favourite player. But I think a lot of people, and I said in my own video, a lot of people in their lifetime, he will be the best player that they have ever seen. My daughter is 8 going on 9, and since she's been born, Mo Salah's played for Liverpool Football Club. So my daughter, all she thinks when she thinks Liverpool, her first thought is Mo Salah.
Exactly.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, everybody has the all-time favourite player, and Mo Salah will be a lot of Liverpool fans' all-time favourite without a doubt. And I'm not questioning that. I can't, because obviously when you come down here, you'll see and you'll understand why. Anthony, your thoughts on Mo Salah? Is he the greatest for you? And if not, why? And if he's not the greatest, who is?
So I'm gonna throw a spanner in the works here. I'm gonna change the question a little bit in terms of what you asked, because he's the greatest in his position, or he's, to me, he's the greatest in his position to wear that chair. But so throughout my lifetime of being a Liverpool supporter, different players have given me that sense of feeling of euphoria whenever they get the ball, or whenever they play, or whenever they do what they're known for. And like Beck said, Salah's known for that vintage putting, whipping into the far corner, That was his goal from the get-go. And obviously the little, like, sometimes into the bottom corner. So he was great in what he done, but I wouldn't say he's the greatest ever because to me, there's different players in their own respective positions have done better than any other player to wear the red shirt, like the midfield, Gerard Alonso, defence, Van Dijk, then you got goalkeeper, you got Reina, you got Allison, you got Duda, you know, then up front you've got the likes of your strikers, Torres, Suarez, them sort of players, and then you've got left wingers, Mane, and you got your right winger, which is obviously Salah. He's the best to be in that position.
So who's your all-time favourite player to play for the club then?
I don't think I could pick one because
You couldn't pick one.
I genuinely don't think, even if I sat here for an hour, I couldn't decide on one. Because, like I said, every other player gives me that same euphoric feeling when they do what they're known for best.
Yeah, I think what we'll have to do on one stream, and I've done this quite a few times with my best mate Andy, and he's younger than me. He's like you guys, and we always pick our greatest Reds 11, and it's easy for me because I can go back 6 decades. But I think for me, I think Mo Salah, he's the greatest player to wear the red shirt in the Premier League era. I would say the reason, and I'm not belittling him as a player because let's get this right. Everybody's clambering for Steven Gerrard, and they've all got their own reasons, and rightly so. But my simple reasons, the reasons why not, are simply this: Steven Gerrard didn't do what Mo Salah's done. Yes, he carried the club for a decade, for 10 years, went under Brendan Rodgers and Roy Hodgson and the rest. But Steven Gerrard never won the Premier League. Mo Salah's won it twice. Now, I've asked myself a serious big question over the last 48 hours regarding Steven Gerrard, and to me it's become a bit of conspiracy theory now. Did he slip intentionally when we played Chelsea? I'm just asking myself because it's a conspiracy theory for me now, because what people are forgetting is they keep saying Steven Gerrard's the greatest ever, blah blah blah. But what they're forgetting to mention is he'd already signed the contract to play for Chelsea and leave Liverpool. The ink was dry on the contract. He was on his way down to London, and then he changed his mind. He turned round halfway there and came back. Now, we all know why. We don't need to talk about it on air. It's well documented why he changed his mind. And for me, that's why he's not great, not the greatest ever. He decided to leave his hometown club. Now, a certain other player has been vilified for it, and he's been left out the England squad this week, and we don't need to name him. Will he go to the World Cup? That's a massive question. I don't know. But for me, the greatest player ever to wear the red shirt for Liverpool, I think there's only 2 players come into question for me personally. One of them's Kenny Dalglish, who I've had the privilege to meet in person, and I saw him play, and I think he's the greatest Scottish player ever. A lot of people will dispute that from the Man United side of it. They'll probably go for Dennis Law. And then the other one for me is my all-time idol, and still is to this day, Emlyn Hughes. The most successful captain we've ever had. Lifted 11 major trophies. Better than Alan Hansen for me, though Phil Thompson and Jamie Carragher disagree. Emlyn, how can I put it with Emlyn? When you're 17-year-old and Bill Shankly signs you in 1967 for £640,000 and says if I had to pay 5 times that, I would have paid it because this is how good this guy is. He had everything. Now, Emlyn scored 49 goals for Liverpool and not one with his head. Now, when you look at some of the goals he scored, seriously, guys, my favourite 3, and I can tell you now, March 1973, Everton, Liverpool away. The park end was full of Reds, full. Liverpool won 2-0 and Emlyn Hughes scored them both. And then the best one for me, it was a start on the match of the day. We played Ipswich Town away. Liverpool got a free kick on the centre circle. Tommy Smith's on the right hand side, and he squares the ball to the left. And Emlyn Hughes hit it from the centre circle, bottom corner. It was a screamer. Honestly, you had to see it to believe it. It's one of the best I've ever seen. And the thing is, when I met Emlyn, I was in Scotland doing a snooker exhibition. He was coaching a group of kids, and I asked him, how come the velocity you had in your shot, how did you get, how come you got so much power into it? And he told me the story, and he said, I'll be honest with you, Craig. He said, I watched, my favourite player was Emlyn's favourite player was Bobby Charlton. And he said, I used to watch him. He said, and what he did one day, he went into a gymnasium, and he had a tennis ball with him. And he used to start closer to the wall as you could, and then he'd go back the full length of the gym, and he'd hit this tennis ball against the wall. He'd come back, he'd trap it, flick it up, and volley it again. He said, he said he did it for 10 minutes, half an hour. He said, and when I watched him, I thought, Jesus Christ. So that's what Emily did. He started to replicate what Bobby Charlton did. So for me, it's Emlyn Hughes and Kenny Dalglish. But I agree with all three of you. It's hard to pick. It's generational. But Mo Salah, I'll say this. When he plays his last game for Liverpool at Anfield, he will be in buckets of tears when he leaves that pitch, because the reception he will be like nothing he's ever seen in his life. And it'll live with him until he's no longer with us. But my thing is, my next question, guys.
Craig, sorry, just before we move on to the next question, just quickly, I don't know if the lads will agree with this, but obviously, taking Jurgen Klopp out of the question, if we're talking about players right now,
yeah,
I think it's going to be similar, if not 10 times fold, to what we've seen with Bobby, where we're playing an away game and the whole away end singing "Si Senor" for like the last half an hour of the game. I can't remember what game that was, off the top of your head, but I can't remember the game that was.
It's funny, I was watching it the other day.
It was Leicester. It was Leicester away.
Leicester away. So
we won 3-0.
Yeah, you've got the Liverpool fans singing "Si Senor" for like the last 20, 25 minutes, half an hour of the game, and then you've got Bobby at the on the final day in front of the Kop, crying, clapping.
Yeah.
Now with Salah, I think we're gonna see that and more. Yeah. I hope it might sound a bit selfish of me, but I hope that like no one sort of steals that from Salah, that limelight from Salah. Just before we move on, I don't know if the lads agree, but I think on that day when Bobby left, Keita left. Who else left at the same year as Bobby, or was it
Keita, Ox, I think Milner, Hendo.
Milner, Hendo, yeah. So Keita. So I know a few of the lads left. I think Thiago and stuff left when Jurgen left that year. But I just hope that final day in Anfield, Craig, like you said, he's going to be in absolute tears. I think that it's just, I just really want to I just hope that it's just all about Salah. He deserves it. And I know people argue that we need to stop these big send-offs and stuff like that. And, we don't need to give everyone a round of applause on the last day, like the legends of the club. I do agree with that in some extent, but for Mo Salah, mate, he deserves a fucking statue, in my opinion. Get Jurgen Klopp and Mo Salah a statue built, because for what he's done in the modern game, you can talk about your Ian Rushes, you can talk about all, like you said, there's generational players, your Steven Gerrards, but for what Salah's done in the modern era of the Premier League for Liverpool is absolutely generational. And I am privileged to say that I've been fortunate enough to be inside Anfield and witness some of the most amazing nights because of Mo Salah.
Yeah, I mean, the only way I can describe, when you think Liverpool paid 34.5 million for him from Roma, Right, so they've definitely got the bucks worth. That's for sure. They've definitely got the money's worth.
He gets paid more than that in a month's wages.
Yeah, and the thing is, the only way I can describe Mo Salah, because obviously I've seen it firsthand and what have you. It's like Beatlemania, but in 2026. It's insane. It's crazy. And the thing is, I agree with all three of you. This was always coming. It comes to everybody. Everybody's got the favourite player who they don't want to leave. And it happened with the fella behind me here. He was told in 1979 by Bob Paisley, I can't, you're not a regular anymore. And they sold him to Wolves. The thing is, my next question is, I know Salah signed the contract 9 months ago, and I said just a bit back, I think the relationship between the club and Arne Slot has broken beyond repair. Would you agree with that sentiment? And are you not? Do you not think the club should have took the 150 million last season when it was on the table? I'll start with you, Ant, on this.
I don't think the bond necessarily broken, because I think it was just a little tiff, and then it resolved, like a little argument with your best mate, and then it's resolved. I think it was one of those, and I don't think they should have took 150 mil, because I don't know. I think it would have been a little bit less of a sentimental send off if he'd have bought him, because it'd have been so sudden. It'd have just happened, and then he'd been gone. He wouldn't have had the chance to have a proper end of season send off like what he will this season. I think, obviously, I don't think it's right in going for a free, because I think the club could still get a bit from him if you're looking at it business wise. But I think maybe it might have been his request to go on a free, because obviously he doesn't want to be seen as an asset to the club. He wants to, go in his own way. He just wants to leave, no strings attached, sort of thing. So I don't think that bond is broken still.
Ben, what are your thoughts? Because he's leaving exactly the same way Jurgen did, on his own terms. What are your thoughts on it, Ben?
Well, you mentioned about the 150 million bid, and whilst that is true, that bid was in 2023. It wasn't last year. It was in 2023. So if you want to, if that's the question about should we have accepted it, then my answer is still no, because at the time Salah still had lots to give. Plus, we were under a new manager, coming under a new manager at the time, and the last thing you want to do under a new manager is sell your star man. So yeah, that's my answer to that. But yeah, I don't think the relationship between Salah and the club is fractured. I think the relationship between Salah and Slot is fractured. Salah definitely doesn't like Slot, because even last year you could tell there wasn't many problems. Salah tried. He was giving his all on the pitch. He was even tracking back sometimes. But now it's like he only like the kind of point you make. He only really turns up in the Champions League because, in his own selfish interests, he knows there's a chance maybe if we put a couple of 8 out of 10 performances and 9 out of 10 performances in the Champions League, we can go and win it. I mean, we've done it before with a worse team.
Depp?
Yeah, I think the Salah and the Slot thing, it's night and day to what he had with Jurgen. Maybe that's just down to time and experience and man management. You see with Rafa Benitez, he weren't the best man manager. You need someone to sort of put your arm around you when you're that high of a caliber of player, make you feel a little bit more down to earth, a little bit more at home. And maybe Arne Slot just isn't that type of a person. Or maybe we've just been so privileged to see someone which is a unique type of guy in Jurgen Klopp. So I don't think his legacy is damaged with the club, or his relationship is damaged with the club at all. I think it is just the case of him and Slot just aren't busy mates at the end of the day. And with the with the leaving on the free thing, and I'm sorry if I don't want to go on a bit of a tangent, and please just interrupt me if I ramble a little bit with this, but no, because it pisses me off. It pisses me off. So I've seen and I've had people message me, and like I said, stop me if I'm going on one. I'll try and be quick with this, but people have said, well, you had a homegrown lad in Trent Alexander-Arnold leave on a free, and he never signed a contract, and he left and whatnot. You know, he was thrown to the curb. He was called all sorts, every name under the sun. But Mo Salah can say, well, no, I don't want to. I've got a year or so left on my contract. You could get 40, 50 million from me if you really wanted to squeeze that lemon in regard, you know, referring to the likes of Saudi Arabia, for example, and Saudi Pro League would probably come in and get 34, 35-year-old Mo Salah with 12 months left on his contract. They'd probably pay us 50 million and he'd pay his wages as well, because he would be the face of the Saudi Pro League. But you can't compare Mo Salah deciding to leave on a free to Trent Alexander-Arnold, and that really pissed me off, because the circumstances with Trent were completely different, and you could almost argue that, well, Salah has been sort of made in Liverpool in a way, and he has got to give a lot of thanks to this football club, which he does. But I think in a nice way, if you want to flip it, Mo Salah deciding to go on a free actually makes me feel a little bit better, because I'd hate to see him just get sold like any other player and go and play, whether it's Germany, Spain, Saudi, Italy, doesn't matter. God forbid another Premier League side. But that would really sort of upset me to see that, because of the calibre of player that he is. So if Mo Salah's decided, look, I'll make my own move. I'll do it on my own. I'll leave on a free. Then if I go and play for another club, then it's separate from Liverpool. It's been non-negotiated with the football club, and it's just down to me and my agents. And I have to hold my hands up to Mo Salah and say, fair enough. I personally think Mo Salah's probably gonna be a free agent for a little while. He might even retire. I doubt we'll see Mo Salah at another club next season. I think he's got all the money in the world. He's happy where he is. He's said many a time, my family and me kids are Scousers. He is Liverpool through and through. I just don't see why he'd want to uproot that and go and move to Saudi. He might want to go back to his part of the world and be in Africa or be in the Middle East or in and around that culture, which is fine, but he doesn't have to go and play for another football club for that. He's got an unlimited amount of money. He can just go and do that whenever he wants. He doesn't have to play for a team in Saudi Arabia to go and live in the Middle East or go and move back to Egypt. Yeah. So I think Mo Salah leaving on a free and not being sold by the football club gives everyone the indication that he's not just going to go and jump ship and start going to play for another team because he's fully fit and he's ready to go and he's firing on all cylinders. Mo Salah genuinely might have just run out of energy, and I've said it time and time again. Last season, for me, he left everything on that pitch, and that was Mo Salah's final sign-off, not just for Liverpool fans, but for his footballing career. He won everything: Playmaker Awards, Golden Boot. That was Mo Salah saying thanks very much to his footballing career. I'd be very surprised if we seen him play for another team so soon. I don't know how it works if you're a free agent. Ben, you're probably a bit more clued up on this than me. I don't know whether if you're a free agent, you can get after play in the next open season or whatnot. I'm not sure, but yeah.
How I see it is he's on the topic of like his relationship with the club. The reason I don't think his relationship with the club is strange is because we would not have agreed to his terms to release his contract and just let him forego it.
So they're referring to it as a gentleman's agreement, I've heard.
Yeah. But the reason I think he's leaving on a free is because he wants to explore his options. If we sold him or had to sell him, like I said at the start when I first joined, he could only go to Saudi because only Saudi can afford the 40, 50 million.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I mean, yeah.
And the wages. Whereas if he goes now as a free agent like he is, he can go to Roma, he can go to AC Milan if he wants to.
We've seen stranger things with Messi playing for Paris Saint-Germain, haven't we? He was Mr. Barcelona, and he's going and playing in Paris, for example. Do you know what I mean?
As long as he doesn't go to another Prem club, I don't care where he goes to. I'm going to support him.
There is another Premier League club already sniffing around him, to be honest.
Yeah, Chelsea.
I don't think I don't see that happening in any.
Yeah, Chelsea are sniffing round him by all accounts.
Everyone's gonna want every single person now. If you've got 40 million and you can afford 400, 500 grand, 300 grand a week in wages, you're gonna be sniffing around. You gotta be.
But the thing is,
I reckon he's got unfinished business in Roma.
Well, the thing is, as well, I think the reason he's leaving on a free transfer, and it doesn't bother me one bit.
Yeah,
whether we get anything for him or not. We've had 9 years out of him. Look what we've won. I think it's the club's way of saying thank you.
Yeah,
I really do. I just think it's their way of saying, listen, we know you signed a 2-year contract. You've decided that you want to go a year early. You go with our blessing. Thanks for everything you've done for the last 9 years. This is always your home. You're welcome back anytime. And that's what I think it is. Same with Jurgen. The only thing with Jurgen is, which a lot of people didn't know and don't know, some of them, is that 2 years prior to him leaving, he had a meeting with the top brass at Red Bull, and he agreed to leave, and he never told anybody until he come out and said it, but he'd already agreed 2 years before, he'd already signed that extension with Liverpool. So he never said anything to anybody until he come out and announced it that he was.
He probably just wanted a bit of security then, didn't he?
Hey?
He probably just wanted a little bit of security.
Yeah, but
you know what I mean. He's coming out of one of the biggest managerial jobs. He probably did have a bit of time off before he went to the Red Bull Group, but he probably just wanted to have something set in stone, I would imagine, Craig.
Yeah, and the thing is, he spent 9 years at Liverpool. He's only ever spent 7 years at Mainz and 7 years at Dortmund. That's the longest. Liverpool's the longest he's done anywhere. I still don't think he'll end up at another club. I think he'll end up as Germany manager. That's the one he's waiting for me. I honestly do. I think he'll want to finish his managerial career as the manager of his own country. And
he'll win the World Cup with Germany, guarantee you.
I honestly don't blame him. But just before I move to my next question, to all those out there, hit the like button, hit the subscribe and the notification so you don't miss anything from us on here. Make sure you jump onto the final whistle and watch what Deck's putting out, especially in his back garden. when it's not raining, because it's pretty good, right? And also give my mate Ant a follow and Ben, because they are worth tapping into. The younger, the cleverer than me on some things. But
Craig, you've got generations of Liverpool knowledge in your head, mate.
Yeah, but
how many decades? 6 decades, Craig.
6 decades, yeah. And before I move on to the next question, obviously it's come out this week from his son. I'd just like to say, I've done a TikTok on it this afternoon. Unfortunately, the dreaded Alzheimer's, or dementia as it's known, has got a grip of another former Liverpool player.
Yeah.
It's absolutely heartbreaking. One of Shankly's boys, John Toshak, one half of the great strike force of Keegan and Toshak, or Batman and Robin as they were known in the 70s. John Toshak was a hell of a player, hell of a centre forward for Liverpool, for Wales. He was a manager at Real Sociedad and at Swansea City. But obviously he's got dementia now, and I hope that his son and his family don't suffer too much, because I can speak from experience of working in that field. Watching a person disappear in front of your eyes is the worst thing you can see, especially when you're working with them and you go into the room and they say, "Oh, good morning, Craig, how you doing?" And you ask them what they want for breakfast, and then when you go back in, "Who are you?" You know, it's horrendous. But my thoughts are with Toshak's family and his son, and I just hope it doesn't. It's not prolonged and it's not slow, because it's awful to watch. But anyway,
I've said that we love to Toshak there.
It's an hard one, mate. It really is. My next question. This is an hard one for me. No, obviously, I've saw it before we came on stream tonight. I've been reading. It's all over social media. You'll have seen it yourselves. The Bayern Munich head honcho, Hully Ernest, has come out and said Michael Elise will not believe in Bayern Munich, even if they offer 200 million. Liverpool spent 450 million last season. They're having a bad season, and we are not prepared to make them any better. So he will not be going to Liverpool. No.
Well, he can say that all he wants, can't he?
That leads me to my next question. My next question is, who takes that number 11 shirt? And I'll start with you, Ben, on this. I know you're going to go. You're probably going to go with your Dutchman from PSG, Mr. Barcola. Am I right?
No. I don't think anyone is worthy of the number 11 shirt next season. Some of the players in this squad have absolutely embarrassed themselves, so they are automatically out of contention. And then the only person who I would consider giving it to is Barcola or Elise. But I don't think either of them are attainable in this summer. So, yeah, I think for the time being, the number 11 shirt should be put to the side.
So we're playing with 10 men again. Oh,
well, fun fact, Bobby Firmino used to wear the number 11.
Yeah. Bring him back for the season, I'm sure.
Yeah.
I'll say that. Darwin Nunes is missing the lad, so bring Darwin back.
Fucking get Darwin back. Get Darwin.
Get Darwin on the ring.
We'll be playing with 10 men regardless if Jack Costa starts next season.
Captain Chaos on the right.
If Gakpo starts and Salah's fucked off, we're playing with 9 men.
Well, I mean, the thing is with Barcola, for me, he's a non-starter because he's too inconsistent. He's not consistent enough for me. Even though he's playing in a good side, PSG, but he's not consistent enough. And I think what Liverpool need to do, whoever they're looking at to bring in, I think we cannot have another summer where we're looking at 6 to 9 months of a settling in period. Whoever they sign to take that position, they've got to hit the ground running straight away for me. I've not got a player in mind.
I think I know who will sign.
So Deck, who'd you like to see to take it over?
Sorry, Ben said he reckons he knows who will sign.
Who do you think will sign?
For the right wing, it's going to be Jan Diamande from RB Leipzig, and I'm unopposed to that because we need his energy, and I like everything about him as a player. I'm really glad we're not going to get Elise. I don't think he's what we need. I've been very vocal about this for a long time. Wasting 130 million on Elise would be a catastrophic decision that would end this project until Elise was gone.
Well, we've wasted 130 on Alexander Isak, so why not do another?
Can't say we've wasted the money on a player who's not got the chance to prove himself yet. Isak's, I've also said this on his other before that you moved to Deck. Next season is Isak's last chance as a Liverpool player. If he's got no excuses really. He's got to step up and start scoring the goals because that's why we signed him for the life after Salah to be the goal scorer. No excuses for Isak next summer, next season.
So Deck, who do you want to wear that number 11 shirt then? Obviously, Firmino's not coming back, so who do you want?
It's a tough one, isn't it? I mean, I wouldn't be opposed to Michael Elise coming in, but if they I don't know who is he for Bayern Munich? Is he the chief of the football there or sport director?
Ole Ernest, yeah, he's absolutely said no.
Newcastle said absolutely no with Alexander Isak, and then the player and agent wanted him to come. So Bayern Munich thought they were going to get Florian Wirtz on Leverkusen, and that never happened as well. So they can say what they want. If Liverpool come up, and you have to take it seriously.
Can I just? I know you're passionate and you want to say, but it's not comparable to the Isak situation. Liverpool will not just knock on Bayern's door and say we want Elise and we're going to take it, and Elise will not force this issue. Right now, it's different. Right now, Bayern are in a significantly better position footballing wise than we are. We're we're a very unpredictable project right now. And Elise is comfortable playing with the best striker in the world, in my opinion. Why would he leave that? He doesn't need to leave it. Maybe in 2027, I'd be more like, maybe we can get him, because by then he's been in the Bundesliga for 3-4 years and he'll be bored and probably want to come back to his home country.
Yeah, no, that's a fair point. I think you're right as well, Ben, in what you're saying in regards to whether, no one's going to come in and just replace that number 11 shirt straight away. I mean, I'd love Kvaratskhelia from Paris Saint-Germain, but again, whether that's going to happen, I doubt it, because they're in a better football and in football in terms of Liverpool at the moment. Diamonde is a great shout. I think we might actually move away slightly from the overall sort of 4-3-3 from the likes of a Salah, a Bobby and a Mane, from your left and your right wingers. I think we might have saw a little bit of that this year when we never really replaced Luis Diaz, and you can say that's for Rio Engamo's development all you want, but you can't have Cody Gakpo as your primary left winger for a football club like Liverpool. I don't care about Rio Engamo's pathway whatsoever. It's irrelevant because he's had hardly any game time this season. We bring in Ekatike and Alexander Isak, where, for me, I think a lot of people would think, well, we're going to sort of play a bit more of a two up front, two sort of primary strikers. So, to be honest with you, lads, we might need to sort of take a step back and think outside the box here and not look directly at right wingers in a like-for-like replacement for Mo Salah. Someone will take the number 11 shirt, of course. I'm not saying retire the shirt, but whether it's going to be an out-and-out right winger is a different story. And Diamonde is a great shout, Ben, like you said, but I don't know if anyone else agrees with me. Whether do we look, obviously we need another attacking option, but do we look more for like a formation where we're not playing like a left or right and a centre forward? Are we going for two down the middle? So that's where I stand on it at the moment. I'd love a Michael Olise, but I just, like Ben said there, you made a great point, and like I mentioned, I just don't know whether we're going to sort of look more for a different type of play. And if we do keep hold of Arnie's slot, is that what he was planning when he brings in Isak and Ekatike?
What do you think, what do you think, Ant?
I'm going to say the complete opposite to Deck, to be honest. I do think we'll retire the shirt. If we don't build a statue, we will retire the shirt.
You think we're going to retire the number 11 shirt?
Yeah, if we don't build a statue for him, I think that's going to be their plan.
Nah, I don't know about that, lad. I know everyone's allowed their own. I know everyone's allowed their own opinion, but Jota's shirt was retired because of the tragedy. But
Yeah.
I don't think we've ever retired the shirt in the club history apart from Diogo Jota, have we, Craig?
No, it's first time ever. It'll never happen again.
Yeah.
I don't
And
know.
the thing is as well. If we retired all the legends we'd have no fucking squad numbers left.
There'd be no number 8. There'd be no number 8. Fucking hell. Naby Keita got the number 8 after Gerrard. Are you messing?
Yeah. He's not a legend. Naby Keita.
Naby Keita almost destroyed the number 8 shirt.
I'm a bigger legend than Naby Keita.
Fucking hell, lads. I don't know about that. I don't know about that one, Ants. I don't know about that one. I'm sorry, lads.
I have a feeling, and I'm gonna stick with my answer.
Go on, lad. You got your own opinion. I'm sorry to interrupt you. Go on.
No, it's fine. It's fine. I get it. Like it's not really something we do, but at the same time, you don't get a Salah. You don't. It's not a normal thing to get someone like Salah, so you can't sit there and say this is what I think we're going to replace him with, because it's going to take a while, or it's going to take a wonder kid to replace someone like Mo Salah. Because it just
but we could have retired the number 8 after Gerrard, couldn't we? Do you know what I mean?
We should have. We should have.
We'd have no numbers left.
Don't get me started on retiring number.
Rio Engamo's with number 73.
Hey?
Yeah, we're already up into the fucking 70s.
Exactly, we've got plenty of numbers left.
As long as I don't know who's going to take that position on the right. I think Ben's probably come out with the best shout. As long as we don't go for Anthony Gordon, I couldn't give a fuck who we bring in. You know, I do think we'll bring 2 in. That's for sure. But I do not want Anthony
can we
Gordon
all
coming
in the midst of the whole who's replacing Salah? Can we just look? Can we? Craig. I don't know if you're going to end the show on this question or not. I'm sorry to jump ahead, but can we all just sort of focus on what problems we've got at the club at the moment?
Well,
You've got multiple senior players running out of contracts, and we still need at least 2 centre halves.
Yeah. Well, this is my next question. My next question is basically this. Obviously, with the Egyptian king, and let's get this right. The Egyptian king. There's only one king at Anfield, and that's Dalglish, and that will always be the case.
He's the Egyptian version.
Yes, exactly. The Egyptian king. He can go and sit on top of the pyramid, and that's it. Right? He's not going to have a stand named after him. Put it that way, unless it's the main stand. You know. But my next question is, with Salah saying he's going at the end of the season, this is a big question for me now. We've got 7 league games left. We've got an FA Cup game coming up. And then we've got 2 massive games with the Champions League holders, PSG. Now, my question is simply this: how's this going to affect this? How's this going to affect the team for the rest of the season? Or will it give them a shot in the arm? And could they do the unthinkable and win the Champions League? Ant?
Like, yeah, we've seen weirder things happen in football. I do think, I don't think, we can hope we can go all the way with the Champions League. Whether we do is a different story. But, yeah, I just think the current situation with this club is because with the whole contract situation, because we renew them. I know it sounds daft, but we renew them all at the same time in the same sort of season. Obviously, different months, but we renew them all within one season. And then you look at it and you think they've all been renewed for the same amount of time, so then they're all going to run out at the same time. And then when that time comes, you're then having to buy a bulk of players to then sit on their sort of seat at the table and fill those empty spaces, and then you've got heaps of money coming out. Unless you look at like the academy and think, yeah, we'll take him to replace the likes of, I don't know, I don't think it'll matter much, but take Gakpo's contract runs out at the end of whenever it does, and we don't find a replacement for him. They look at Rio and say, yeah, we've got him, he'll replace him, it's fine. But you got to look at it in that situation of too many players are running out, and you just got. It is just another, not another reason, but another another problem of spending a lot of money on a lot of players that we should have bought ages ago. So if you know what I mean, we should be buying these players ages ago instead of waiting for these contracts to run out, then run into the problem of shit. We need to replace this player. Let's look in the market now. Our way, all these players that we were looking at have either grown in value or they've decreased in value in the face of the year, and it's just it does fuck things over.
Ben, your thoughts on it?
A lot of players are playing for the future. Certain players have to prove they deserve to be here next season. McAllister's one of them. Gravenberg's one of them. A lot of players have to prove they deserve to wear a Liverpool shirt next season. And what better way to prove that than to actually turn up in the Champions League, go and beat PSG, who, by the way, have proven once again why Liga Earn is the most scandalous thing on the planet.
Yeah, I spat your dummy out over that, have you? They've rearranged the game.
I mean, I'm not surprised it's happened. I thought they expected them to do it. But it just further proves that League One is nowhere near the top 5, in my opinion. It's a good league still, as it is in total, but it's not top 5. Yeah. But what better way to to prove your worth for next season and go on with the Champions League and maybe the FA Cup as well.
Deck?
Yeah, I think I would like to have thought this when Jurgen left, that the lads would go on one big hurrah for Jurgen. And, you know, the Premier League just come 12 months later, didn't it? But I think now we rally round. The lads would have knew that Salah was leaving before anyone, by the way, so they've already been aware of this. But I would love to see some positive reception, especially from Anfield. I'm sick of going to Anfield and the atmosphere just being shit. I'm there week in, week out, lads, and I'm fortunate enough to be able to go to the game, and the atmosphere is dreadful.
Yeah.
The best atmosphere I've been to all season was that Galatasaray game. I'd like to think that Anfield are going to get behind them, and the lads are going to get behind them, and Mo Salah's going to get behind himself, because he needs to sort of turn up the numbers a little bit and commit a little bit more. And I'd like to think there's enough in the tank, because we haven't been that good, so we can't be that exhausted where we turn up and we beat PSG. I'd be happy if we went and won the FA Cup, just for some sort of silverware after this abysmal season. I think if we walk away with any sort of silverware this year overall, it's a good, not a good season, but it's something, because we've been shit. But I would like to, like Ben said, PSG, they're absolutely criminal. And I'll say that, and I don't mean to offend any Paris Saint-Germain fans, but the way they are, they've got a fantastic squad, and getting the game postponed and everything going in their favour. So if we were to go ahead and beat PSG, I'd be absolutely over the moon with that. And I think if we were to win some sort of silverware, not only would it just sort of save our season, if what, in some way, but also it'd be lovely for Salah just to have all that trophy, whether it's an FA Cup or a Champions League, and just one more for the trophy cabinet. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, I agree with what I agree with what you've all said, and with PSG, obviously asking for the game to be rescheduled and postponed because of the Champions League game. To me, it proves one point is that money talks.
Yeah, and that there's corruption in football.
You know, Italy have just gone 1-0 up.
Sounds.
Money talks, but the thing is, I think, you know, if ever the squad need a shot in the arm now and to end, I think, to be honest with you, looking at the summer, because I've been reading some things today, which is interesting. Excuse me. Apparently Liverpool are going to spend another 450 million in the summer. But for us to do that and bring in the type of player that we need, we've got to qualify for the Champions League next season.
Yeah.
If
we need
don't,
the top 5.
If we don't, we'll be fishing in a different pond. I honestly do believe that. And the thing is, I mean, it's not been a good week if you're a Red, because obviously things have happened. Mo's announced he's leaving, and then today we've been hit with another bombshell. The ticket prices are going up from 3%, and over a 3-year period it'll be 13%. So your ticket prices will be £70. Your season ticket prices will be over £1,000. Now the thing is, it's like you said here, Deck, which you said you're a match going fan now, and found because of the football that Liverpool are serving up this season, and we have served up this season, even a well-known fan channel on Merseyside and 4 of their members have come out and said we're finding it extremely difficult to go to Anfield now and watch Liverpool because of how we're playing. I think this is one we could do more on basically because I think now if you look at it now, and I'm speaking from experience, I was priced out of it a long time ago, my season ticket and what have you. and I can't get a ticket for love nor money now. And the thing is, the normal working man on the street's been priced out of going.
And that's why the atmosphere is suffering.
And the woman, I mean, the kids, the general admission for kids is £9. Okay, that's fair enough. But I think when you look at the amount of merchandise that the club have released this year,
we had a record revenue season.
And I'm talking here, three kits, five tracksuit tops, just off the top of my head, 5 tracksuit tops, and then only last week or the week before they've released the 95-96 collection, in which they brought the shirt out, which is £90, the black shirt version, which is £130, the tracksuit tops £90. This is a collection they've brought out, which we lost the FA Cup final into Man United, right? And we won fuck all when we were that clobber, and they've brought it out again. Why do you need reminding of losing to Man United in a cup final?
Yeah.
And I think, while I'm mentioning Man United, I think the only people glad that Mo Salah's announced he's leaving today are Man United fans, because he scored 6 goals at Old Trafford. The only person to do so. But I think the ticket prices would be a good thing to touch on, especially with you, Deck. I think, and to be fair, the club have announced profits of 703 million this year, and now they put the ticket prices up. If that's not exploiting the fans, then what is?
And this is why the atmosphere is suffering, because it's full of people who are buying it out, who don't have a clue, who come from all around the world, which I'm glad that my club's world famous. But they come from all around the world and they buy it out, and they haven't got a fucking jar of glue. Yeah. They haven't got a jar of glue about what it means to sit in that cop, Craig.
Yeah.
And that's why it upsets me the most when I'm sat there and I'm in the cop and I'm screaming at the top of my lungs, and I've got Joe Bloggs down the road looking at me like I've got 6 heads, and he's sat down in the cop. They haven't got a clue. The football club is being sold out. We're being bought out as fans, and I'm telling you now, the working man's sport has never suffered as much. And if I'm saying that now, as a 29-year-old, I can only imagine how you feel, Craig, at your age. And that's no disrespect, but you said at the start of the stream, you've been a Liverpool fan for over 6 decades. And you look at what you had when you were my age to what I'm saying now. And if it's coming from me, I can only imagine how you feel. And I'm sure Ant's the same.
The only way I can explain it is, it's as if we're in the gym, right? We're bench pressing. I've picked the barbell up with the weights on. You're stood behind me. You've took it off me. You've put it on my chest and walked off.
Yeah, there's no spotter.
Just crushed.
Crushed, yeah.
Because basically, the lifeblood of the club's being sucked. It's being drained out.
We'll have to do another stream on that, Craig, because that's a very good topic.
It is, yeah. I mean, I know Manchester City Supporters Association have come out and agreed with what Spirit of Shankly have said. Now, I've said that every single club should get involved now. Put rivalries aside. You're all fans. You're all following the working man's sport. It's not a working man's sport anymore. Unless you're absolutely loaded, you can't afford to go. I mean, let's be honest here. Anfield Road, then the new stand, 500 quid hospitality. Who's going to pay that in the right mind? Seriously, would you? I mean, the stewards only get paid £10 an hour.
It's metal, mate.
Right, and the stewards get paid more at Everton than what they do at Liverpool.
There you go, then.
But if you come out with an opinion, you're told to shut up, keep your mouth shut. But the club asks you your opinion, you give it, and then you're told to keep quiet. Well, why are you asking me opinion in the first place?
Yeah. Sad,
isn't it? What I think, and then tell me to shut up.
I know. I'll have to shoot. Craig. I'll have to shoot.
We will leave it there. I think it's been a great one. So from Anthony, from Deck, from me, Ben's already gone to the Chinese.
Where's he gone? He's got a chippy. He's going to get settled in the group chat now. He's gone to chippy, hasn't he?
Does anybody cook in his house? That's what I want to know. Anyhow, so we will see you on the next one. So from me and the boys, have a wonderful evening. Take care.
Take care, later.
Look after yourselves, and we'll see you soon. Thanks for watching.